mothers all over the world, including my mom, love you, Mom, there's always a great deal of discipline that I love from my mom and I love from other moms. And when it comes to emotional, when it comes to discipline, as far as making sure you understand between good and evil, good and bad, the things about mothers that I really love is that the support that some of us gentlemen that we actually need as that motherly figure to understand how to treat a lady as well too. Right? One thing about mothers that I really love is always you get flowers every day. You always get your flowers. It's also when it's time for a mom to kiss their kids goodnight. And knowing when they can kiss their kids good morning. And then when they actually come back from school, they kiss their kids again. You know, the one thing that I love about mothers is knowing that when I used to go to school, my mom always used to have a paper bag lunch for me, and knowing that I had the best lunch ever, and it was a kiss of love. My mom used to have a little high C orange that I like to this day. I don't know, that's my favorite color now, orange. So she always used to give me orange juice boxes, and those are like the best ever. And those little memories that you have of your mom is such a great deal to me. So mothers from all over the world, you know, the Rico no Suave show, you know, supports all mothers, and we love all of the mothers that's actually out there, from single mothers to actually mothers that's actually still as far as with their partner, their husband as well too, and, you know, significant other as well, raising your child in the best way that you can. But also, I have to give it also to mothers that's actually kind of struggling also, that's out there that may have lost their loved ones. Now today, of course, we are going to be talking to three beautiful young ladies that's here. And I say young because they are young, right? And they're also beautiful as well too. So I want to welcome, you know, and we're here at New Life Community Church here in Humboldt Park. Big shout out to Humboldt Park. I really love Humboldt Park as well too, because I teach around here as well. So I want to present to you, I want you guys to put your hands together for three beautiful young ladies, Melinda, Elizabeth, and Maria. Yes. All right. So, ladies, you already know who got the mic. You know the mic is already there. So, you know, welcome, ladies. Welcome to the show. How you guys feeling? How you feeling? Good. Doing good? Yeah, that's awesome, man. So everyone around the world is going to be watching us. Everyone around the world should know, as far as three beautiful ladies that's representing mothers from across the world, but also representing in a unique way, right, as well, too. Someone has also, you know, you kind of lost a piece of you, right, and piece of your heart that you've actually had, but at the same time, too, you still are there as far as with your heart strong, with blood flowing through it, through sangre, right? Yes. And we're here at church. We're here at a community church as well, too. So we know the angels are definitely looking over you every day. So we're going to start off, number one, with Melinda, right? Melinda, yes. So Melinda, thank you so much for joining us here on the Rico no Suave show today. Let's talk about you, right? Let's talk about as far as a piece that's actually missing. And then let's talk about some of the good things that you love to be as far as a mom.
Okay. The piece that's missing is Jacob. He was the baby of 6. When I say baby, he was the baby. Jacob had no problem being at work a month before he passed away. Hey, Mom, what's up, y'all? What am I? What do you mean, what are you? Yeah, you're my baby. Mm-hmm. Ha, 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 I told you guys. You hear people in the background. You're really calling your mom? Yeah, I told you I was going to call your mom, my mom. And I'm like, yeah, baby, you'll be my baby forever. He's like, let me hear you call your mom and see what your mom got to tell you. She'll probably say, you're a big-headed stank boy. And everybody's cracking up, so that's something that Jacob, he didn't care. He told everybody, I'm my mom's baby.
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah.
He is my baby. He's my baby, and he'll always be my baby. He was very compassionate. That boy had a heart.
Yeah.
He didn't like drama. Anybody argue, I'm gone. I don't have time. You guys, this is dumb.
Yeah.
He was expecting a baby.
Oh.
He was shot on November 10th in the Little Village area. His son was born on the 12th.
Oh, wow.
He passed on the 15th. One of the wounds just took his life. One bullet. He was very excited. The HR flew in from out of state to come see with us and speak with us about Jacob.
Sure.
He told us how well-mannered Jacob was, and we raised a very good child, and he was, at his age for being 24, he worked his butt off. Said good things about Jacob. They gave him his first refrigerator for his apartment. He was the baby of the company too, so they took care of Jacob, and he just spoke good things about Jacob and said, I'm going to tell you something. Your son told the whole plant, I'm about to go on maternity leave. So I'm like, oh my God, he's not even going to be a mom. He's like, but I'm having my baby. So when baby Jacob became baby Jacob because of the incident that happened. Jacob wanted him to be called Armani, but he's Jacob Armani Abdallah Jr. now. Right. So handsome boy. I think about my boy every day.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Sure.
It's hard. Mother's Day, I'm happy to hear from my other children, but it's just that one that won't call me and say, Happy Mother's Day, woman. I love you, Mama.
Yeah. I think, when you hear that voice, you always hear it. I still hear my mom's voice every day, even though she's at home. I still hear her calling my name, Ricky, as if she want me to come in the house, and I'm in the house already, But I feel where you're coming from, that connection that you always have with your angel Jacob. I think that's a beautiful thing. And what was Jacob like? Did he play sports?
Oh my God, he was a football player.
Yeah.
When he was little, I have a pen that I just told Elizabeth I was going to take. One day he just got fat out of nowhere, and he was my little skinny twig. And he got these pictures, and his cheeks are so high, So he played football as a child.
Sure.
In high school, he played football. He loved football. Watching sports. He was a Bears fan, a White Sox fan,
Yeah.
So, he was into sports, but what we always did as a family, once a week we would go bowling.
Okay.
So bowling was our thing, and now with our grandkids, we go bowling.
Yes.
And Jacob was just, let's do it. One of the hey, let's go here. And it was just spur of the moment.
Yeah.
One thing he picked up was frisball, something with the frisbee.
With the frisbee.
Frisbee
that's
golf.
a new
Frisbee golf.
Yeah, that's something new. Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? You got to play it, Mom. I can't explain it. But he was always like, let's go, let's do this. He was very, 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 I'm in.
That's awesome. Well, he was always ready to try something new.
Always.
That's awesome. What high school did he go to?
He went to high school in Galesburg.
Okay.
It was Galesburg High School.
Okay.
Galesburg, Illinois.
All right. And once he finished high school, what did he want to do after that?
He went to one of the colleges that I can't think of the name. It's in Grays Lake, one of the community colleges. He went to CLC.
Okay.
He was there for the first year. Then he met his son's mother.
Okay.
He ended up started working.
Okay.
So he kind of pulled away from doing it, but what he wanted to do was be a welder.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Wanted
going
to
to
be a
ask that
welder.
next question.
Yeah,
A welder. They make good money too.
And that was his whole thing. I gotta make money, Mom. How am I gonna live? Well, he started working with his dad here and there, washing dishes. So
Sure.
at the age of probably 9,
Sure.
he was making his money. So he knew, and I said, I'm not buying you Jordans. For what, Jacob? The last pair of Jordans I bought you, and one day they looked like they were 10 years old. I will put you in Payless shoes. He said, Mama, I'll walk barefooted. I'll walk barefooted before I wear Payless shoes, Mom. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, my mom put me in Payless, right? I wasn't a big Nike fan, but I did love. I was a Reebok guy, right? But it's still expensive during that time. Mom was like, nah. But one thing that I loved about your son is that he actually wanted to work on his own. Mm-hmm. Now, did you both, as parents, have multiple jobs, or was it just one job that you guys actually had
At one
coming
point,
up?
my husband was just the sole provider, and
Sure.
then I started working, and then I kind of laid back a little bit.
Okay.
And I just after losing him, I didn't want to stay home anymore. So
I see.
I'm doing it just to keep my mind occupied. But
I'm with you. Yeah, and I think the reason why I asked that question is because sometimes us as kids, we look at our parents as far as what they do, right? And then when that happens, we're goal-minded, right? And we're like, oh man, I need to work, I need to get money. Or we look at our dad, right? We look at our dad and say, oh man, my dad is working 2 jobs, so I'm gonna do the same exact thing that he's done. And it's good for Jacob that he was actually going down that path of positivity to be able to provide. But that's awesome.
I worked in an Italian restaurant, Papalano's in Lansing, Illinois.
Okay.
And he was under me. I was his boss. Put him in making pizzas. Mom, I'm not your mom here, boy. Now do what you got to do. Leave me alone. And he would be like, swear. Like, you better go ask somebody else. I'm busy. So he'd be like, okay. What do I call you?
That would be hard, like, for me to work with my mom. I think I'll never get anything done.
When we went for his survival benefits, the gentleman that took care of us, he looked at me, he said, your son was 24. I said, yes. He's like, I need to give you a round of applause. I haven't seen some grown men that passed away with the earnings your son had.
Wow.
They're like, he good job. You raised your son to do good in life.
Love.
So,
oh my God.
and
That's
to hear
beautiful.
that from somebody in a Social Security office, I was just like, yeah, he worked his butt off.
Yeah. That's beautiful because, you know, your son is, I mean, how can I say it? He's a man, right? He's masculine. He knew exactly what he needed to do, brought a beautiful baby into life, right? And knew that he had to have a responsibility to take care of that. I think that comes from you as a mother knowing that, hey, you know, I got this chancla. If you do anything wrong, you know, papa, right? And then what happens is that becomes discipline action that he knows that I will never, you know, disrespect my mom. That was never in the house, and I think that's the cool thing about Latino families is that, and families that's disciplined, knowing that you can't come into this house and talk to me however you want to, leave that out in the street, right? Or you come here, you respect your parents, no matter if you get into an argument. My father was one thing I had a hard time with. Saying hello to my dad when we just got in an argument. It was hard to say hi, but I knew that I had to, and I appreciate it now that I actually was able to still say hi, because I don't know when the last time I'll be able to say hi to my dad or to my parents, right? Or my parents saying it to me, right, as well too. So, and it's such a beautiful thing about Jacob that I really love about that.
Our oldest is in her 30s and never cursed around us. They know when they come into the house, they don't curse.
That's what mothers are, and that's what it's about.
I still got that look.
That's good.
They know better. Mom's taking things serious.
That mom look, man. I tell you, that mom look is dangerous. I ain't gonna lie. My mom looked at me sometimes. I was like, oh, mom, don't look at me like that. You know you're about to throw like a big hole in my head with your eyes, right? So I can't even look directly. But you know, as a mom, I mean, for you, of course. What was one of the things that, and you say you have a family of how many kids do you have?
6.
6, okay. So in regards to your other kids, like, you know, it's a lot. Well, I ain't gonna lie, my mom got 6 too. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm the baby, right?
No, I do the same thing. Like, gosh, you have 6 kids. What am I talking about? I have 6 too. Like, oh my God, who told me to have all these kids? They said it was gonna be okay. They lied.
It was the dad. The dad was in a big
blame him all
influence.
the time. It's your brother. Don't lie.
Put your brother in the comments. You did this, right? So that was, you know, so that's good, right? Because, you know, we do sometimes need big families, right? And big families, what do they call? Good reunions. It also calls for big. One thing I do like about what you did, and that's what, you know, our family did as well too, was we did something on Fridays or we did something on the weekends that was family time, right? Because it's very hard, and the moms are the main sole provider of having family time. It wasn't like my dad, it was my mom. My mom really wanted, for my dad on the outside, it was like, let's go fishing, let's go to amusement parks. But mom was like, let's be in the house, let's eat pizza, let's watch movies, let's play games, and do things that made things actually work for the family. It was like when you sit at the table, moms knows that, hey, I am proud of my kids. I'm proud of what I have right then. And then your mom as well too. On top of that, is proud of what she see as far as with you as well too. How is your mom? How is your mom still with us?
Yes, my mom is still here.
Is she? Okay. What was it like growing up with your mom? Like, how did she?
Well, we grew up in a building that my grandfather had owned, so it was all my cousins, my aunts, you know, we all had our own apartments to go to, but we all grew up as one. So my uncle owned a house down the block. We grew up as one solid family, and I grew up in the 70s, so the neighbors were able to give us a quick and go home before I tell your grandmother.
That's right.
So it was a wonderful time in life. Kick the can, you know, let's go play outside. We
Yes.
didn't go call anybody. We ran down the block on bikes, roller skating, hopscotch. We had a very, very good childhood life. You know, my mom and my dad both worked, and my grandmother took care of all of us. How she did that, I don't know. But
Sure.
yeah, Grandma had that. She had that chancla too. She was not playing.
Yeah, yeah,
so-
and I think that's a beautiful thing because if we look at the times of, and I'm so glad, I'm a 70s baby too, and I'm so glad that I grew up between the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Those are the best
Take us
years.
back.
Yeah, I know, but it's the best years though. Look at what the kids are doing now. It's not like what they were able to live through during that time, where other kids can't even get disciplined enough without DCFS involved.
Yeah.
You hit your kid now, then they can call DCFS and take your kid away from you in whatever action that may be involved. I think that the technology and the laws are so confused now that and I saw, and this is crazy. I saw this at by the planetarium. Latino brother, Boricua. He had his little son. He was out of pocket. Man, everybody was like this. I was like,
Yeah.
there you go. He was like, stop being that way, right? And that little kid, he was crying and he stopped. He said, stop crying. I'm like, I remember those days. And everybody was like, the way the ethos was like, oh my God, he's like beating his kid. No, he's not beating his kid.
Yeah.
He's disciplining his kids because he don't want his kid to grow up and do whatever they want to do, right?
Yes.
And I think that's the cool thing about those times that
Yes.
we've had. And that was the beautiful thing. All right, before we
I'm a
pack.
nana of 11, so our oldest grandson just turned 17, and our youngest is 4 months.
4 months. Wow.
Well, we have our 10-year-old that's with us.
Okay.
We just went to eat before we got here. We're sitting down. She wants to have the sassy attitude. There's a line behind me. I was like, look at me right now. My husband's like, oh my gosh. I was like, you don't lower that tone and correct yourself, you're about to get embarrassed in this restaurant. And my husband's like, Melinda, that's enough. Why?
Exactly.
Why? And he looked at me like, all right, I'm leaving it alone.
Times
You
are
know?
changing. But see, that's the thing, because times are changing and we know what can actually happen. But when it's your kid,
Yep.
that means that you can do, and they know what's going to happen when we get home. If I had to take this chancla or belt off or switch or whatever, you know what's going to happen when we get home.
Yes.
And then we'll be okay after that because I love you, right? And that's
And let's
what
go
you
have
do.
some ice cream.
Yeah, right.
Then they say Nana's nuts. She hit me and said, let's have ice cream.
So finding justice in regards to your baby Jacob, right? We talk about this, of course. Elizabeth is how can I say, a big moderator because of what's happening when it comes to violence, right, within Chicago or just across the world in general, because this is going to be seen everywhere, right? In Little Village, what happened to Jacob? Where was he at this time? And then what did the police officers do? What was the next step after that?
It was a Sunday afternoon. He was on Cermak and I forget the other. It was one of the busiest streets in Little Village on a Sunday. Sundays when everybody's out walking around November, so it was still fairly warm out. He was in a vehicle which was his brother-in-law's vehicle, going to the store while his fiance was in the shower.
Yeah.
He had just worked 13 days,
Sure.
13-hour shifts, so he finally had that weekend off. Let's go out and eat, get ready. I'm going to go grab some I think it was soda or something. What do you want? Whatever he was going to the corner store for. He was making a left-hand turn. Car comes behind him and just starts shooting. My son got shot 6 times. His brother-in-law was sitting behind him, and Jacob, go. And he said that Jacob pressed the gas, and then that was it. And he just seen blood, so he jumped into the front of the seat and jumped on Jacob's lap and drove him to Mount Sinai.
Wow.
Ran inside and was like, my brother-in-law shot. The guy next to him was shot too, you know. So they were like, oh my God, they went out. I get the call as I was leaving church, so I'm just like, wait, hold on, hold. Church is in Grays Lake. This happened here in Chicago, so I had to get my husband from North Chicago, where he works. I'm coming to get you and drive you there. On the way going there, I called Mount Sinai. I was like, whatever you do, don't stop working on my baby. Just get here, be safe. The male nurse intercepted us, and he's like, I just have to tell you something. And we looked at him. He's like, I don't know what just happened. When your son came here, that was it. We resuscitated him. His heart came back. This happened 2 more times. The brain injury your son shouldn't have happened the first time. How his heart keeps starting, we don't know.
Wow.
He is, give him time to get ready. He's going to the surgical ICU unit where he was there for 5 days. We were able to, what the unit had told us, they've never seen this. I was like, I'm not leaving anywhere. I live in Wisconsin. You can't stay here. It's an ICU, and I don't care what you tell me. Give me a pillow, give me a blanket. I'm not leaving my son's side.
Right.
They let us stay all 5 days.
Good.
They had no problem.
Did your son ever wake up? No.
Our pastors came and were like, he can still hear. You speak into your boy's ears and tell him whatever you want to tell him. We've had, my son didn't die in vain. The nurses that came into our path, it was just so many things we seen. We played Christian music to where you heard it on the whole floor. They said that they've never heard that before. We were singing Christian, we were praying. We had the Bible, and it's like every nurse except for probably 2 Christian and would come in. Can we pray for your boy? Can I read the scripture in this Bible? One of the respiratory therapists, she came in and she's like, I'm going to tell you something. Before I stepped my 2nd foot in this room, the presence of the Holy Spirit is deep.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yep.
And if you take it, Jacob, it's his time.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit came for your boy.
Oh, wow. Wow. That just gave me chills. And the reason why it gave me chills is because Jacob's presence and the angels was there to pick him up. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with your son.
Yeah.
And even though you were there with him and you actually said what you had to say as far as the last words, the angels was there. That gives me chills because you connected with everybody on that floor. That's very powerful for someone like Jacob, your son, and you, that connection, for you to bring a whole floor together just like that. That's better than bringing a church together.
Yes.
Than a floor for people that don't even celebrate, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Someone that does not go to church and celebrate life. They celebrated your son's life that day. I'm a big believer in karma. When your son got shot itself, did the investigators or detectives find out who did this?
Yes. They know who the shooter is. They know who the owner of the vehicle is. Unfortunately, because of the district state's attorney, they were unable to bring any of them in. The car disappeared. The detectives did come to our home. Since this case started, we had quite a few. We got bounced around, but we didn't run into one that was not, compassionate. They were all compassionate towards us. The detectives just came probably 3 months ago. Was it 3 months ago? They came to the house. They drove to Wisconsin. They came there. They sat with us. They said what we don't want to happen is bring in the person that we know. We know it's him. Bring him in, and then they let him go because then he'll never be able to be charged with your son's murder again. And I was like, please don't do that. I don't want that to happen. They said what they're waiting on and they're watching him is him to slip up. Once that happens, you're charged with Jacob Abdallah's murder.
So here's where I've always been confused when it comes to someone doing something bad to someone else. Being held accountable for your actions and knowing that that's the action. And this is where it really hurts me a lot to be able to see young ones kill young ones around the same age, let's say even older, where the detectives know exactly who that is, gives the hope to say, what's really stopping you if you know that that's the exact person that actually killed my son? So the judicial system is messed up.
Very.
Because if you bring the person in, you'll be able to see who that person is. You will identify that person. But then at the same time too, if you know that that person had done something to hurt your family, what if it was the other way around? What if it was your family member that actually did something to theirs? They will probably want something to be done to your family member as well. So what I'm not understanding is, this is for everybody that's actually, watching this. You have to say something to be able to make it happen. And also, you're going to have to bring that village together to make it happen. I really still don't think that, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's hard to be able to find somebody that kills once and then they're going to do it again unless they're really mentally challenged, like something's wrong with them. How are you going to find that again? Because that's like a needle in a haystack. You're not going to be able to find him to slip up again unless you're really, like the movies, you're stalking him, you're doing stakeouts, you're watching every single move that he's actually doing. And it's happened in November of last year.
2019, it'll be 4 years.
Thank you. You just proved my point even more in regards to the judicial system. This would have been happened a long time ago in regards to bringing him in, if that, 3 years, 4 years, going on 4 years, well, 3 years in November.
3+.
Yeah, so that's a long time for somebody to say, I'm going to slip up again. It's just common sense. You know who the person is. Bring the person in, prosecute them, and then go from there. I'm really sorry that this is, I'm sorry that the judicial system is so messed up, because that's one of the reasons why some people say we don't believe these cops or the detectives sometimes. And that's why you see sometimes people going against the cops, because you're like, well, who's the bad person here? The bad person is the one that killed my son. But then what happens when you know that the person is there? What can you do and it's 3 years already. So my question comes next is, what are they doing?
Nothing. I am in contact with them. I email them. I send scripture to them. I let them know God tells us to not avenge. He's our righteous avenger, and he will avenge even if the shooter doesn't receive any justice here. He can't outweigh God. He can't outrun him.
No, not at all.
So it's either way it goes. What we told our son in his ear was to forgive who did this to him. Forgive who did this to you, son. We have to forgive. If we don't forgive, that the blemish is going to stop what God is doing. And God is all we depend on. And I know God would allow us to see the justice here on earth.
Oh, for sure.
He's going to allow that to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and I think I'm more of interaction with whoever does something wrong and how things are being happened, even with my own family members. Like when you know that you're doing something wrong, we take care of it right then and there, because you know what you did was wrong. Now you're going to have to either live by the sword or you die by the sword. And in some cases, when I say die by the sword, is being able to get disciplined for your actions. And it's a shame to be able to have something like this to happen to Jacob. And for such a good person, I can understand if Jacob was in the streets doing, gang stuff, or he was doing drugs, or if he was doing something else, where you know that you're going to actually, you're going down a path that you might not live to see your mama again. But this is not the case. This case is that you have a mom that actually loves you, and you have something like this to be able to happen to you. And my prayers goes out to the guy that actually shot, or if it was multiple people that were shooting. But he said that was one person. I'm assuming they rolled deep. They rolled multiple
The driver,
people.
he was in the back of the driver, so he was the passenger back seat driver.
Backseat
The person
driver.
that came out the window and just started shooting.
Yeah. So God will take care of this, and justice will be served. And I pray that justice will be served. And for people that's actually, watching this, and I'll say this again at the end, know where your kids are at all times. Because sometimes they might just be going to a store and they might look a certain way. And this is to other people as well too. I was never a person that was always with the fad. I didn't have the stylish jackets. I didn't make myself look like I was part of a group, right? I want to be by myself or to myself, and I think my parents, because of that, and I'm sure that's where Jacob was at, because he was
His
he was
crew was
himself.
his 6 siblings, his 5 siblings. That was his crew.
Yeah, that's it. By himself, doing his own thing. And it's just the act of this person. Did they say how old the shooter was?
I didn't ask. They just gave us they gave us his name.
They gave you the name and you looked it up?
No, I don't want to. I don't
Okay.
want to see.
Yeah, because I know that would cause outrage too.
I don't think that will happen. I honestly don't have hate.
Sure.
I'm hurt. This person broke us.
Sure, right.
But in order for me to go to my son, I can't hate him.
Yeah.
I can't hate that guy.
Okay.
I don't know what his circumstances were. I don't know if he didn't have the love Jacob had.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go into a courtroom and introduce my son to him.
Yeah.
Because he had no idea and still don't know who my son was.
Right.
My son was a complete stranger.
Yeah.
I want to introduce him. I want you to know the type of son I raised,
That's right.
the type of love I gave him,
Yeah.
and the type of love he had for his siblings.
Yeah. You know, sometimes the world doesn't react the way you do, in the most compassionate way. I've seen maybe a few videos that was kind of like that, where someone actually hugged someone that took another person, and that person cried in that person's arms and said, "I'm sorry for what I did." Well, on the flip side of things, there's revenge. And unfortunately, that's where the world goes sometimes, because in order for them to be able to feel better, they have to take care of what they took care of in my house. And blessings to you, man.
Thank you.
Blessings to you a lot, because I do feel it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like if someone shot my brother, I don't know what I would be feeling. I think I would be, and the reason why I brought rage is because I think as a man, I feel that way, as to I want justice, but at the same time too, it's a different feeling. From a mother, that you're compassionate, you're a blessing, nurturing, and I think that's where you come from. From a man's standpoint, we feel a different way, and it's something that, you know, your missing part is probably different from your husband's missing part, but he's missing you because you part of his heart, and now you got 2 pieces that he's missing. And I think that's
And the same thing for the murderer's mother. How is she going to feel when her son is locked behind bars, when he's places she can't hold him? You didn't only take my son from me,
right.
but you're removing yourself from your family's life as well.
That's right.
They don't think of that.
Yeah.
How are her Mother's Day gonna be?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be found. I trust God.
Yes.
He is gonna be brought to
And
justice.
he will. And
He will.
that's where we're gonna put the period to it, right? Done.
Yep.
And it will happen. It will happen in most cases when someone does something bad to someone. That's why I say karma. The man upstairs will definitely take care of that.
The wrath
Melinda.
of God is not a joke.
That's right. Not at all. You know, in I think Saudi Arabia, or in one of those most religious companies, if you killed someone or you did something really bad, they chop off your hands. Both of them. Imagine if we had that law here. You know how many hands will be missing?
Oh my gosh.
So, and you know, and that's where the judicial system comes into play. In Iran and Saudi Arabia, those are by the people. They will stone you, they will cut your hands off if it's part of a religion. Here, there's no such thing.
God got out of the equation a long time ago, so
Bingo.
that's when everything started going downwards.
Bingo.
Bring God back.
Yep.
You'll see what happens.
Bingo. We got it on a $1 bill, don't we? In God we trust.
Oh, do we still? Or did they not take him
thought-
off? Oh my God, I thought he
did.
was gone.
Exactly. I thought we did.
I'm joking. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean?
But but that's where it comes from, right? Because that's what's supposed to, every time we look at that.
That's where the Constitution was based on. What happened to that?
Exactly. The judicial system of we trust, but then we can't even trust ourselves to be able to find the right person that actually took something away from us. So, Melinda,
And that's how I found Elizabeth.
that's right.
I told my son also, probably hours before that, I told him, son, I promise you will not be a statistic of Chicago. I promise you I won't give up.
Yeah. Don't.
Surgeries, everything you could think of. Got out of surgery, came to one of the meetings to meet from a distance that I come. I won't give up.
See, I think that's the reason why your son followed your footsteps so strong, because you never gave up.
I prayed. I was like, Lord, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. This is new to me. Please bring me who needs to be in my life to help me.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I said the same thing about Elizabeth when she asked me to do the King Say for her. I was like, okay, no problem. She hugged me afterwards. I was like, okay, no problem. But I want to thank you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful Mother's Day special, and I really love that. And everybody that's actually tuning in right now, this is the Mother's Day special, and that was Melinda. Yeah. I wonder if we got any comments. I got to see, do we have any comments? Oh, our producer, Matt, is in the back end there. I got, he's running the show, everybody. So I got to check my phone because, this is something really special to a lot of us. And hopefully you guys actually see if we have some comments or anybody commenting over there. But, I'm super happy to actually be here with these beautiful young ladies right now. And if you are commenting, we will get to, we will respond as far as to your comments as well. So I'm going to be checking them from my phone as well. If you're on YouTube, thank you guys so much. Please share this video. If you're on Facebook as well, too, please share this video to everyone in the world. We're celebrating 3 mothers and, of course, mothers from across the world as well, too. So let's get it on. Oh, she got the mic already. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it. She ready? You ready to sing or what? Also, we have another beautiful young lady that's actually here with us, and this is Maria. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Maria, you are a beautiful mother.
Thank you.
And I know kind of the soft spoken of Maria, right? ¿Dónde está María? Ese fue. María se fue, right?
Yes.
But we got Maria that's actually here with us today, and I want to talk about. I'm gonna take you through the same scenario, but
Okay.
I want to know what's important to you of being a mother.
The most important thing to me is my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Family, my wonderful husband that I love so much.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah. Connection with your family is very, very important, right?
Yes.
What is it that you love doing for your family? Let's just say it's on a Saturday, sábado, or domingo. What is it on the weekends that you love to do for your family?
Well, I used to, because I don't do it anymore,
Sure.
but cook breakfast for my kids, and I would do like everything for my kids. My kids are my life.
Yeah.
Well, I still say my son because he's still with me.
Of course.
He'll
course.
always be in my heart, and he'll be part of my life.
Always.
Forever.
Yes, yes.
So-
When you cook breakfast, what would you cook?
Pancakes, eggs, bacon, the
normal stuff.
Yes.
No arroz, o frijoles, no nada.
no. Rice is for dinner.
So, food is a connection to the family, right?
Yes.
And by you cooking for your family, of course, your family appreciates. How many siblings do you? How many kids do you have?
I have a daughter and my son that took his life.
Okay. So you had 2 kids. So
Yes.
You still have 2 kids, just like
Yes.
Okay. So, with your daughter, how old is your daughter?
My daughter is 45.
45. Okay. Okay. Still young.
Yes.
That's good. And how old was your son?
My son was 41 when they took his life.
Okay. All right. So with the connection, now it's only having 2 kids because that's smaller. You're more intimate, right? Because
Yes.
sometimes when we have a bigger family, right, it's all over the place, right? And
Yes.
being able to have, of course, your hubby as well as the 2 kids itself. During that time, as far as when you're raising your kids, what was it like? Were they all like 2 peas in a pod? Were they always together, or were they kind of separate from boy and girl standpoint?
Well, when they were younger, they were always together, but the only thing is my son was born with a disability.
Okay.
He was born with a mild case of cerebral palsy, and he had speech problem.
Okay.
So my life was dedicated to
Of
him.
course.
I didn't work or anything because I would take him for his appointments, for his physical therapy, and to the hospital for all his appointments and for speech. Easter Seal, that was many years ago, Easter Seal on North Avenue and Western.
Okay.
He used to go there, so my life was more for him. You know, I would always be taking him everywhere, taking him to school.
Sure.
Both of my kids, I would take them to school. And every PTA meeting, I was there, and every assembly, every award, I was there for my kids.
That's good.
And that made me feel good, and they were proud of me for being there all the time for them.
I like that because, you know, it was almost like there's a full-time job that you actually had. Even though you say you weren't working, you were working,
Yes.
right? I think one of the things about symbolizes what you were doing for your son itself is showing what other mothers that has a kid that has some type of disabilities in regards to how you actually were able to cope with that. Not every woman can do that. Not every mother can do that. Sometimes it's hard because some ladies cannot take that. Like, especially the newer ones. Like if they actually have a child, they wouldn't know what to do, right? Because during that time of knowing exactly how to take care of and get into a routine of thing, but love it at the same time.
Yes.
And I think that that's key for you. So did your son, did he ever, like, was he a jokester? Was he kind of like, did he ever like do things to you? It just makes you feel like, oh man, I love these moments that he does.
Yeah, he used to sometimes, he would hug me, he would, tap me and do beautiful things, and that touched my heart.
Yeah.
And now my daughter, she's a teacher.
Okay.
She's been a teacher for about 22 years, I think, or a little more.
Yeah.
And she's always says to some of the moms that have kids that has disability, my mom did this for my brother. And it makes me feel good that my daughter always appreciated everything that I did from her brother.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a good heart, and she will help anyone too. She's a good daughter. I love her. She's my best friend. She's my daughter and my best friend.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. You know what I like about her being a teacher is that she loves to be able to express and show other people how to do certain things.
Yes.
As a teacher, this is what I love to teach too, because when I was here, it's so much fun, right?
Yes.
You have this feeling of being able to teach somebody that don't know anything to make them feel like they're actually learning and knowing something. So, but she got that from you though. Right? Because as you were teaching her on how to become a young lady, you actually taught her, hey, this is what I do in regards to my life and how I need to do it. But when you find out what you want to do, stick to it. Right? All the way through. And that's what she did. She learned. She had to go to school, of course. She had to go to college or training or whatever she needed to become that teacher.
Yes.
What grades is she teaching?
Third grade.
Okay. Wow.
Yes. And
she got a lot of heart.
Yes. And she's always
you got a lot of heart.
and telling me things about her beautiful students.
Yeah.
And it makes me so happy because they appreciate her. Like for teachers appreciation, they they gave her, one of her students gave her this beautiful cup, and I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And I keep telling her that they love her, and I said, you're a good teacher, that's why.
Yeah.
You got a good heart.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. Well, you have a good heart. That's what she got it from, right? She got it from her mom, right?
Yes.
And also your husband, right? I mean, your husband, if he has a good heart, you got two hearts together, that brings one heart, a bigger heart with your daughter, right? And of course your son. The one thing I like about, you were telling about the tapping of your son. So I have my nephew. He actually has a disability as well, but it's a good disability because he knows when TV shows are coming on. He knows when PlayStation games come out. He always asks me, "Hey, you play the new Last of Us or Call of Duty or whatsoever?" We have that. Your son, right?
Yes.
So that connection of video games that actually keep their minds accurate and saying, oh, I just love it when my nephew, your son, is happy, right? And he does certain things to be able to say, oh man, I just love these moments, right? And I think because of disability, I always say it's always an ability that other people think that it's a disability. When you have an ability, I never treat like someone that has a disability as if they don't have the ability to do something.
Yes.
right? I think it's just a unique way of things that you have to be able to practice and have a routine to understand them, right? And
Yes.
I've talked to so many people when it comes to stuff like this, and I love it because I can relate to my nephew, right? And that's a good
Yes.
thing. I was taught by his mom, right, as well too, in regards to how to deal with that. But you did it because that was your son.
Oh, yes.
You continuously stayed with it. You understood it. You was the teacher.
Yes.
And I think because your daughter saw that too. I think because she
yes.
followed the footsteps of you. So with your son, right? So with your son itself, I'm very intrigued. What type of food did he like?
He would love rice and beans and arroz con gandules.
Sí, eso.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a picky eater. He lived with us. I mean, when all this happened, he's always lived with us.
Sure.
He had his little apartment in the basement, and he would come upstairs to eat, and he would sit on the table, and I would just sit with him, and because my son worked. You know, he didn't let his disability stop him.
That's good.
He went to college, he graduated, and he worked, and then he had lost his job when the virus happened. He lost his job, but he was working temp, and he would never give up.
What did he work at?
He worked with computers.
Yes,
like me. He loves.
Okay,
Yeah.
IT guy.
Yes.
That's even better.
Yes.
That makes you feel. That's even better. You know, it makes me feel like I'm a nerd too. I'm a nerd by day, right? But I love that. I love that. So he
Yes.
fixed it. Was he actually the guy that goes up to the computers and working on the computers
Yes.
itself, or was okay? All right,
Yes.
cool.
So every day he would come home, or I would call him, and I would say his nickname was Nene.
Nene.
Yeah, and I would say, Nene, are you on your way home? And he's like, yes, Mom, I'm like 20 minutes away. Okay, so I could warm up his food or,
There you
know,
go.
get it ready or whatever. But the first thing he would do, he would go and meet his father in the garage, because his father would be in the garage. He would go and talk to his dad, because he was his father was his best friend.
There you go.
So he would go in
Yeah.
there and he would talk for a little bit
Yep.
and sometimes drink a beer, you know. And then I would say, Nene, come and eat first. So, you know, he
Here's
would
a
say,
routine.
okay, Mom, okay. And he would come inside and then we would talk for a little bit. And then he would say, Mom, okay, that's it. I'm going downstairs. That was his game time.
Uh-huh.
He would go play in the PlayStation
Yeah.
or whatever. And then he would be there for hours, even though he had a disability. He was paralyzed from the right side,
Okay.
but his left hand was good.
Perfect.
He would play games, and
There you
he
go.
would do with computers and everything with his left hand. So
That's awesome.
I'm so proud of my son for everything he accomplished in his life.
Once again, there's an ability of a disability.
Yes.
Right? You have that ability to be able to do whatever you want to. There's people that don't even have a
Yes.
right arm.
Oh, yes.
Right? And they have to figure out how to make this the best thing ever, right? As far as for
Yes.
them to be able to do their things in life, right?
Yes.
And continue. That never stopped. My eyes lit up when you said IT, right? Computer. So as soon as you said computer, I'm like, oh, I love this guy already, right? And I think that, because he has that, being into computers, so you ladies know, is that there's a process that we go through with zeros and ones. We also, everything with an application that keeps us on point with everything. When there is an issue on a computer, we are processing in our head how to make it better, how to troubleshoot it to make it right. Your son did the same exact thing, and I think that kept him accurate with a lot of things. The process, right? When someone calls us with an issue, they say, hey, we got an issue with our computer. Can you come take a look? I'm on my way. But because I love to do that. As soon as you sit down, you try to figure out what is she talking about or he's talking about and try to fix the problem. I think because of your son was in IT, that helped him stimulate his brain even more to make him even stronger.
Yes.
Right? And when he came home, yeah, he snuck a beer, right? He snuck a little beer, and he came in, but he had that routine, though. He had that
Yes.
routine. He saw what Dad was doing. If Dad loved working on cards,
Oh,
or
yes.
if he was actually doing, so he'd come in and say, hey, Dad, hey, how's it going? And just, talk a little bit with Dad. They came in, listen to his mom when he come in, Uncle Man, right? And
Yes.
come and eat, right? And then he knew that Mom's was there. So it was a two-phase approach. I should say three-phase approach. The first thing is keeping his mind accurate at work, coming home to see his dad, then coming home to see his
Yes.
mom to eat. And I think because I'm sorry, what's your son's name again?
Miguel.
Miguel.
But
Nene.
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 Nickname,
Nene.
yes.
We're going to call him Nene, right? So Nene automatically knew what he needed to do to actually make his day complete when it was
Yes.
coming from home, going to work, and coming back again,
Yes.
right? How old was Nene?
41.
41 when he passed away.
Yes.
Man, young still.
Yes, he
Man.
passed away October 21st, 2021.
Oh, wow.
It's only been 18 months. It's going to be
Yeah.
19 months.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
very hard for me because he lived with us. And every day I get up, I mean, I thank God every day for my son
Sure.
and for my daughter and my grandkids, for all my family.
Yeah.
But I thank God that he gave me my son for 41 years. And
Yeah.
I have a picture in the dining room, and I get up every morning and I talk to him.
All right.
I say, "Good morning, son,"
Yes.
and then I talk a little bit.
There you go.
And everything I do, like if I'm leaving, I'm like, "Okay, Nene, I'll be back in a little bit."
Yeah.
I still, I go to the cemetery I try to go every week. Like tomorrow, we're going to the cemetery.
Okay.
I'm going to take flowers, clean his headstone,
Good.
and my mother-in-law's there next to him. And I try to go every week because it makes me feel good.
Of course.
I
was just going to ask that question. I'm sorry, Melinda. I was going to ask you that question as well, too, about visiting the cemetery, of knowing how that connection is as far as still there as if you're going to visit someone.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's such a good relief in regards to knowing that you can still go and visit your loved one.
Yes.
Jacob's at home with me.
Jacob said, cremation. Okay. All right. That's love.
Home with
That's
me.
still, yeah.
We didn't want him
In
cemetery.
Okay.
Anywhere I go, he's going to come with me.
Either
If
way-
if I travel, my birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
We're going camping.
There
Come
you
home.
go. That's love. I like that. I like that on both ends now, because normally I would ask about the cemetery, but if cremation as well too coming along with me, that's
Yes.
even better. I like that even better. So I think that's awesome.
Yes.
So Maria, besides cleaning, which I know you like to clean a lot.
Yep, that's my life.
What was your hobbies when you were younger? What did you like to do?
I didn't do much because our life was kind of rough. We
Sure.
had a stepfather, and
Okay.
it's kind of rough when, you have little sisters and brothers, and then he wanted us to help out, and we weren't able to go outside and stay there for hours.
Sure.
My sister and I, we had a time at 8:00. We were already inside.
Oh,
You know how strict
That's
those.
right. That's right. Yes. Yeah. The lights. The
Yes.
lights come on. Yes.
Yes. And we were like, I can't stand that guy. But hey, at least we grew up to be good people.
Yes.
My sister and I, and
Yes.
and then I got married, and then I have my two beautiful kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So cleaning can't be the only hobby you have. I'm about to say it like, man, it got to be spick and span at your house. I got to come and see how glossy your house is.
No.
So, did you like to go movies? Did you like to were you able to actually when you were younger, did you at least go to any of parties, house parties, anything like that?
No, we couldn't do much
No?
when we were younger. No,
What about when you were older?
Yeah, well, my son and I, we bowl in the same team. We had
Okay.
That was his favorite thing to do was
Nice.
bowling.
Yeah.
And the last time that we bowled together was on the 17th of October, that Sunday before his life was taken.
Okay.
On that Wednesday night.
Okay.
So, anyways, he enjoyed bowling.
Where'd y'all go? What bowling alley?
We used to bowl, I forgot the name, it's on Milwaukee and Central. I forgot the name of it.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
but we bowled there for a while. My husband still bowls there, and
Does he?
my friends want me to go back, but I just think it's just too hard for me to do it.
Right
because
now.
Yes, because
Yeah.
my son used to do it with me in the same team.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun and everything, and I just think I'm not ready yet.
I think when you're ready, though, you
Yes.
should definitely do it as a dedication to him, right?
Yes.
I think you should definitely do that as a dedication to him. And every bowl, every strike that you make, right?
Yes.
You celebrate and call his name,
Yes.
right? I think you should definitely do that. I think because you are a mother, never stop being that mother, right? And I think
Yes.
over time, you know, like I said, over time, hopefully you get past as far as knowing that he's in heaven right now.
Yes.
He's with the angels, right? And
Yes.
so praying
Yes.
and being closer to God, of course.
yes.
So tell me, how did this happen as far as with him, and talk to me more about that.
Okay, that day he was he used to go to this little sport bar that's on Keystone and Fullerton. It's called the Levy.
The Levy.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
uh-huh.
Oh my God, that was his favorite place to
Yeah,
go.
the Levy,
And
yeah.
everyone there loved him, and
Yes.
they were all family. And he would love to go there because he would have a lot of friends there, and that made him feel good. So I knew where he was all the time. That day, he was one of his friends were there, and he said, "Nene, aren't you gonna? It's getting late. Don't you gotta go home because you gotta get up early for work?" So he's like, "Yeah." I mean, I wasn't there, but that's what they told me. And then they told me that he left, but before this happened, the person that shot my son had shot somebody else on Fullerton and Pulaski.
Oh, wow. The same day?
The same day, maybe a few minutes before, or maybe, I don't know, it was the same day. And then he was running towards the levee, towards that way, and then he seen my son's headlights on. And my son was parked in the parking lot from the levee in the back.
Yeah.
And what I heard they told me is that I guess my son was in the car, and I guess he had a gun, and he came, and I guess he pulled my son, I guess, got nervous, and I guess, I really don't know what happened, but I think that he pulled him out, and then he shot him, and he left. He escaped to Wisconsin, Kenosha. And he's out there now. They caught him. I guess my son has something in the car, a tractor or something, and they found
found the car.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then over there he shot at he was coming out of the convenience store, and he shot at the police and the police dog.
Wow.
Yeah, and
The dog died?
no, he has surgery, but the dog didn't die.
Okay, so there was another, and the reason why I brought this up, because I heard that there was something close to Wisconsin that a man actually shot a dog. This was a while ago, and I thought that the actual dog, that they caught the man,
Yes.
right? And they're prosecuting the man. So I'm not
Yes.
for sure if that was the same
It
concept.
could be because they did. He's got another court day on the 25th, and
Okay.
he could face up to 70 years
There you go.
because he's got a lot of more cases on him. And then they told us that after that they're gonna send them to Chicago for the 2 cases here, the other person and my son's. So every day I pray for justice, and that's my routine. I drop off my grandson at school, and then I come home and read my Bible, do my prayer, and I ask God for justice to be served. I put it in God's hands, and so far everything is going okay, because over there he's going to have his last case over there, and then they're going to bring him over here, and it's going to be hard for me because I'm going to see him that day, the time when they bring him over here. I got to face him, and I don't know how it's going to be for me.
We'll pray for your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
We'll have us behind you.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Definitely have to. I mean, the angel's definitely going to be behind you on this one,
Yes.
and everybody else, of course, that's going to be there for you. And thank God that they found the person. So here's the tracker of this whole thing.
yes.
He did it once, he did it again, then he did it again, and they found him
Yes.
because there's something here that's not right
Yes.
with the person that did this. It's nothing against your son. It
Oh,
was
no.
something about him
Yes.
just wanting to kill people. There was something internally with him that was not right.
Yes.
And I want to say that he probably want to take his life as well. 70 years, he's done. You might as well just take, I mean, it's not saying take your life,
Yes.
but it's almost like you're asking for yourself to commit suicide because you know that there's something wrong with you. There's something internally wrong with this gentleman,
Yes.
right? And it's unfortunate
Yes.
that your son was involved in his action. So
because that's 70 years out there. He
Yeah.
might 70, and then for here, we don't even know.
That's going to be more years.
Yes.
Yeah, they're definitely going to prosecute him. And once they see that there's 70 years there,
Yes.
his life is just gone. Did they say how old he was?
I think he was 40.
Wow.
Yes, and he doesn't even live around here. He's, I think, from Hillside or some suburb. I don't know.
Wow.
And I don't know. Maybe he was on drugs or something
It's
to do
possible.
something like that.
Excuse me. Yeah,
Yes.
it's possible. I mean, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm sorry to hear about your son. He is with the Angels, but
Yes.
it's just it's a sad way of actually going out of someone else's mentality, right? Someone else's mentality that's just not there. So I gotta get Elizabeth. Elizabeth's falling
Yeah.
asleep on me.
Yeah.
I need to give her.
I mean,
anybody got Red Bull around here?
I mean,
No,
I
but-
might not be showing that I'm, but I cry every day.
I'm sure. I'm sure, man.
And I'm so thankful that I met Elizabeth
Yes.
because I was looking for support groups and I couldn't find any support group. And thank God from a friend that told me about Elizabeth, and there I meet Elizabeth, and it's been a year that I've been going to the support group, and it's a blessing, and I thank God.
And you've been friends for how many years?
Yep, we've been friends forever. I know Elizabeth since she was a teenager, and then we meet again in this way.
Yeah.
So,
Oh wow, for
Yes.
a long time.
yes.
You know, I mean, it's good to have a reunion, but you don't want a reunion like
Yes.
this, right? Of
Yes.
course. And I think because of the of the connection that you both have, right? All of you now, right?
Yes.
You all have with each other is love and support,
Oh, yes.
and being able to do things with each other. And I think
Yes.
and this is the moderator, man. This is
Oh,
the moderator
yes.
right here. This is the queen, right?
Yes.
And I have to say that, from everything the reason why I love to ask you as far as being a mother, because you still are a mother, right? And you
Yes.
still have your daughter. You
Yes.
still have your husband, because you basically probably a mother to him sometimes.
Oh,
right?
yes. And grandkids. I have grandkids.
And grandkids. So you do have a lot to be thankful for,
Oh, yes,
right?
I
And you are special, right, as a mother to all of us, right? Especially, I keep saying us men, because us men is without mothers, we wouldn't be right? Disciplined mothers, right? The right ones that care about us and love us. And I congratulate you,
Thank you.
for being that great mother, right? And also doing this interview as well, too. So
Yes, I didn't even know I was going to be. I just came to support the moms, and I end up sitting here with these two beautiful moms.
That's what happens when you're friends with somebody for so long.
Yes, I know.
They just throw you in and be like, over so many years, like, listen, I need you here, right?
Yes.
But Elizabeth will do that to you. I'll just let you know that, right? Yeah, she talks to me all the time. So she's like, hey, Rico, I need you to do this. Can you share this? Can you do that? I'm like, yes, of course, right? And then, of course, I really wanted to do this as well, right? And this is something of a Mother's Day special that I definitely wanted. And I'm glad that this is happening, right? Because it's something nice and intimate, right? And at the same time, too, you telling the world what it's about when you lose a piece of you,
yes.
right? As well. So congratulations
Thank
in
you.
regards to you being a great mom.
Thank you.
As far as to your son.
Thank
Rest in peace. He's in heaven looking
Yes, he
down,
is.
right? Playing his video game. He's still playing PlayStation. I know he is, right? And I know that he has a heavenly bar up there. I'm sure he has a heavenly bar up there too. So he's definitely having a great time looking over you and saying,
Thank you
Mom,
so
it's okay.
much.
I'm still here for you, Mom. So, and keep talking to him. Keep going to the cemetery
Oh,
as
yes,
well
I
too.
will.
And yeah, keep doing that, because that's going to actually help you. Something's going to click and tell you, say, Mom, now it's time for you to continue to live your life. Go to the bowling alley and bowl for me.
Oh, I'll try.
It's gonna happen. Not
Yeah.
right now. It's gonna
Yes.
happen though. At one point in time, that will happen.
Yes.
You're gonna want to do that for your son, right? Even
Yes.
if you say, hey, everybody from the support group or everybody, family and friends, we're all gonna go bowling and we're gonna have a great time as far as the dedication to Nene, right?
Thank you. Yes.
So,
Thank you.
yes, that was Maria, everybody. Thank you so much,
You're
love.
welcome.
Thank you so much. All right, we got to see if there's any. Are there, producer Matt? Is there comments going on up in there that you probably want to just blurt out and let me know? Because I need to make sure that there's people out here that's checking in, and we might just repeat it because my man Matt's there.
Sedenia, Aurora,
Uh-huh.
blessings.
Oh, Dora and Iris and Edith.
Okay.
They says hello.
Hola,
Pri-
Thank you, great show.
Oh, Ola Perez. Oh, she says great show. So she's actually, I think you're in Atlanta, right, Ola? Pirela. She's actually one of our fans as well too.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I want to say she's definitely in either down south or up north.
Mercedes Harris is checking in.
Mercedes Harris, thank you so much for checking in, Mercedes.
Jacob's big sister.
That's Jacob's big sister.
Their oldest.
All right, thank you so much for checking in.
Denise Jones.
Denise Jones, oh yes, author Denise Jones. She's another person that's really good that you probably would love to read her book. So it said, Who Said It Couldn't Be Done? That's a book that she actually came on. Very, very good inspirational book that you will love as well too.
Jacob's dad.
Jacob's dad.
His pops.
That's his pops. What did he say? Did he have this?
Just prayers go to my wife Melinda and all those mothers that lost a child.
Prayers goes out to all of the mothers and all of love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
James Dunn.
James Dunn checking in. Is he giving the arm thing? Is he giving us? Yeah, he giving the strength. Yeah, James Dunn. James Dunn is one of a great guys. He's also in does a lot for Hollywood. You know, I'm part of Heart of Hollywood magazine, and he does a lot of great stuff for runway models. But he's always supporting the channel, so he's really loving this as well too.
John T says Happy Mother's Day.
John T for free. Yes, John T for free. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate that. Thank you.
And Hytham says I love my sister Elizabeth Ramirez.
Hytham. Oh,
He's
that's
just
love.
kissing behind.
Did it?
I love you too.
Because she's
my
going to
brother.
get her.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Don't forget the support. Thank you guys so much for this Mother's Day special. Yes, we hope that you guys are enjoying yourselves as far as with us. Yeah, we're almost down to we did almost 2 hours. So this is good, right? This is awesome. So it's good to be able to have this conversation. And happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you that's out there as well, too, that's tuning in. And don't forget to continue to comment. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. But please do that now because we got more great content as well, too. And then you'll be able to re-see this video as well. We're down to our last one, the moderator. Yes, the beautiful moderator. Yes, yes. So, if you guys don't know who she is, her name is Elizabeth Ramirez, right?
Yes.
That is you.
That is me.
And we all love you, and you know that.
And
right?
I love you all.
Yes, and being a mother, and I've seen you in action of being a mother and taking care of, what's the kid's name? What's the little kid name that was at the house for the quince?
DJ.
DJ.
My grandson.
Your grandson. Yes.
My
grandson
baby.
DJ. Yes. Just watching you from a personal aspect of when I came to actually do some things, you know, at your house, right? And seeing exactly the parties that you also have at your house. As far as you being a nurturing mom, I can just tell you just love to have a great time in general. Right? Yes. No matter where you go, they know that Elizabeth's going to have a great time and you're going to make the people around you have a great time as well too. Tell me, being a mother, and also of course you took care of your mother as well too. Tell me about how does it feel to be a mom at your caliber?
Well, when I was growing up, I was seeing the way my mom was raising me and my sister. So I took a lot of points from her, you know. She showed me from a young age how to do things, how to be a clean person, how to wash, how to cook. At an early age of 9 years old, when I had to take care of my sister while she was working. And I started babysitting also at an early age for my cousin of her 2 children. When Lancet Village was open, I don't know if you remember Lancet Village, the nightclub on Lincoln. We were still young, but we used to go. I used to babysit for them, and I learned how to change diapers and all that. And I think by me starting early, I learned a lot.
Sure.
I overdid early learning. I didn't have time to go outside and play with my friends. You know, maybe to sit down with my friends in the backyard or in the steps and just talk for a little bit, you know, because we had to go to school the next day, do our homework.
Yep.
But I love being a mom.
Yeah.
I love being a grandma.
Yeah.
I have 2 beautiful grandchildren that I adore with all my heart. These kids are my life. My granddaughter is 17 years old. My grandson is 7 years old. He's the one that he could get away with murder with.
Yeah, the little cute kid too.
That's
He's
my
so
baby.
cute. Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm a mother of 2. I have my daughter that's 38 years old. And I have my son, because he is my son still.
Yeah, he is.
He's 35 years old. He's in heaven.
Yes.
I'm saying he's at his second home.
Yeah.
This was his first home. He's at second home. And I know that our children are watching over us. You know, I bet you all 3 of them are looking down at us. Look at our mothers, you know, and they're proud of you, of what you are doing. You are being their voices. And you got to continue to be their voices. I know that Mother's Day is hard, but they're within us.
Yeah.
Because of the love we have for them.
I say that, and to all of you, never stop celebrating yourself. Sometimes we forget about ourselves, where we always take care of others. Sometimes I have to tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, you need to sit down, let me cook, just relax. Because your moms naturally are used to cleaning. You're used to taking them out and going places. You're used to playing music and just being able to have a great time. But you forget about one thing, you. Yes. But that's kind of a normal thing for a mom, where you forget about yourself. And I think yourselves are more important than us, because we need you to actually be celebrated, right? Even though this uniqueness of you losing a piece of your heart, but your heart's still pumping. You still have blood going through it. And you also have people that's surrounding you in regards to keep going, right? And I think for yourself, I never want you ladies to never think about, especially you. And I call you the queen, I call you the moderator. The reason why I call you that is because you're in control of what a lot of people cannot do. Bringing mothers together. But also bringing mothers together for them to appreciate themselves. Of course, me knowing you, and I'm not about to spoil anything, because I want you to tell the world in regards to your son, beautiful son that passed away.
Excuse me.
When did this happen? What year was this, and how did it happen?
On October 23rd of 2011, my son, they had a surprise birthday party for him. As he's celebrating his birthday, someone came in through the kitchen with a mask, started shooting, but not shooting directly at him. My son pushed his cousin back and her son back. And that's when my son received the bullet. My son is a hero to me. I remember going to the hospital, praying to God, and I drove, praying that my son to be okay. Because I never in a million years, we never in a million years thought that we were going to have a child that shot, or we had to bury our children, because our children were supposed to bury us, not us, our children. And as you know, my son was still warm, but he wasn't here with me. I tried to wake him up, telling him to wake up because he was still warm. I wanted to take him home, but I couldn't. And, you know, we as mother, we would do anything for our children. Rico. You know, if I knew about this party, because it was given by his father's side of the family, I would have covered my son with my body. I would have preferred to receive the bullet than him, because our children had a life. Our children were working. You know, our children were not stuck at home, involved with the wrong crowd, doing wrong things. You know. And it just hurts because innocent people are getting killed. Innocent people at their own home. You can't even go to the corner store, even coming out of school, out of the restaurant, parking your own car, driving. You know, they're shooting just to shoot. They're shooting just to shoot, and it's, you know, It's hard
Yeah.
because now this week was a few days ago, 2 days ago, a mother got killed, and the father was talking about his daughter. So tomorrow, Mother's Day, instead of celebrating Mother's Day with their mother, they have to plan arrangement to have her in a wake, a funeral, cemetery, getting pictures together. You know, I have a message for these young people, if you don't mind.
Please do.
Because I know there's a lot of people watching us and they have children. You know, I want the family, the parents to love on their children, like that their children won't go to the street hanging around with the wrong crowd, with the wrong people doing the wrong thing. You know, we all choose to be a mother. So our responsibility is to show our kids from right from wrong. You know, and I know we did that, and maybe a lot of you that are watching us did that too. But just show your child a little bit more love before they end up with the wrong crowd, you know, and show them love. And they just want to hear 3 words, I love you. You know, I love you. And that's what counts. If we as parents, as mothers, show our children a little bit more love.
Yeah.
You know, because we love our children.
That's right. I really love the fact of, you know, the way you said that. I love you, because these 3 words means a lot to families that don't have that love within themselves. You have, I think one of the things that, you know, I would ask you, because you've seen a lot, what would you tell single families or men that has their kids or women that just have their kids by themselves? What would you tell them in regards to discipline? Because it's hard for the young ones nowadays. They don't have a guidance. What would you tell them that of things that you saw to be able to help them, train them, to be able to know how to become that efficient mother, like that valuable mother? What would you
Is
say?
that on young age? Or,
Yeah, the young age.
What age are you talking?
I would say 18 and between 18 and 25.
Let's go from 13.
Okay.
From 13.
Okay.
Because I've seen a lot of kids that are doing wrong things at the age of 13. We have children at the age of 10 or 12 also.
Wow.
Carjacking.
Yo, yes.
Carjacking, hanging around with
Excuse
the
me.
wrong crowd.
Yes.
Holding a gun, shooting, you know, and my thing is that if you see your child doing the wrong thing or doing drugs or something, look for the help for them.
Yeah.
Help them, you know, because I'm gonna be honest. I was a single mother.
Okay.
I left my kid's father when my daughter was 6 and my son was 3. I'm not saying that I'm a better mother than any mother.
Sure.
But I was working. You know, and I did those surprise visits to the school to see how they were doing, you know, and then their friends would make fun of them. Oh, DJ, your mom is here. Oh, Vanessa, your mom is here. And they were kind of upset. But I told them, you know why I do it? Because I love you, because I care.
That's right.
Because I want to see you doing the right things, you know.
Yeah.
And you just got to show your kids a little bit of love. If you see your child is acting up, there's a lot of help up there. We have counseling for the children. We have so much, you know, we're doing art, we're doing sports right now, you know. And if your child is from 18 to 24 years old, I work for Rincon. We're looking for people to hire them, for them to graduate, you know, with a scholarship, training. It's so much going on out there for these young people,
Yes.
and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
And there is,
Yeah.
or they do know it, and they just don't want to
Won't do
you know, they don't want to have no involvement with it. And that's when the parents have to push them a little bit more,
Yeah.
you know, and say, you're going to do this.
Right. I think you're right. I think you're right with that, because a lot of kids have their own mentality, because we wasn't as free back in the day as it is now with decisions. Decisions now is like so open. Everybody is in this woke culture, cancel culture. If they don't like something, they'll cancel you, right? And then everybody is so free with whatever that they want to say. Even the young kids is following that. And I think the problem is that it's not just the parents, it's the media. We didn't have social media like this back in the day. Everything was verbal. Everything was either a flyer, right? Now you got social media and you're looking at this one person or this one kid is doing it. You got the kids doing it. It's a trickle down effect. I think that's another virus that we actually have with social media. So did you want to say something?
With
Sorry.
the social media, I see a lot of young people, because I got Facebook, and I go through these pages, and they're not even my friends, but I could see
Sure.
the things they do on the phones.
Yeah.
Gang signs, holding guns.
Yeah.
With their pants all the way down to their butt.
Pull
really?
your pants up.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I know. I
That's
don't like that.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Again, you just have to be a parent to your children. You got to show them love.
But I think that's the street style mentality, but also the world of fad style. This is if I look like this in front of somebody, I look cool, right? Back then when we had cool, it was like people that smoked cigarettes. They thought they were cool. No, that was going to hurt you in the long run, but you thought it was actually cool until something actually happens. The way that you present yourself in front of people is what people are going to see you either as a threat or, I can't bring this person around me because I don't know how they're going to react. And they might be the most intelligent person ever. Yeah. Like they could be so smart. I'm like, why are you dressing like that? Why are you looking like this? And it's not saying that I'm judging a book by its cover. It's just that you're putting the judgment on yourself to feel this way or to look this way. And you're smart. You could do math. You could do science. What are you doing here? Why are you doing this? I think there's an outlet that you're actually was talking about, that people need to have this outlet of being able to go somewhere to be able to get after school programs, to be able to have these things, and they have to be able to want to do it.
After school park. Right now, we're going to be there's a lot of summer jobs coming along for this summer for the kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to share it with you,
Yep.
and you can share with everyone. It's just you put your phone on it, and you get the application there.
Okay. The scan? You talking about the barcode?
Yeah, the
thing, kind of the
barcode.
scanner
Yeah,
code?
that little barcode. I just want to send a message out. If you know anyone that needs help, be there for them. And to the young people, please put those guns down.
Yeah.
You're hurting so many parents.
Too many people.
Too many people. And the thing is, I'm going to be honest with you, and I want to say this, and I hope that she is watching me. I hope Mookie's mother, because that's the guy's name that shot and killed my son. I want you to know that I don't have anything against you. I would love to see you and hug you, but I know you don't live here any longer. So I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day, because you are also suffering.
Yeah.
I'm suffering because I lost my son, but you're suffering also because your son is behind bars. And you ever come to Chicago, please look me up, because I would love to talk with you and I would love to give you a hug. Even though our children didn't know each other, but I want to meet with you.
That's
and you know what? And me, and I feel in my heart, God has been talking to me for the longest, and I spoke about this. I forgive him.
Yeah.
You know why I forgive him? Because I want to be forgiven too. And you don't know what went into his mind, what went into all these shooters that's shooting out there, shooting our children. We don't know what lifestyle they're having. If they're in a lifestyle that they're shooting and they're learning wrong things from wrong people. But, the parents, they need to be more involved in their children, show them positive things, no negative. But again, to Mookie's mother, I want to hug you, and I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day.
I like that. I think before we get out of here, I think all three of you, once again, needs to be praised. You have to be celebrated. It's very hard for a mom to actually forgive someone that took a big piece of their life away from them. And I think what happens is that when you do something like this and it gets away from you and you're able to forgive, you're very strong. You're more stronger than us masculine men. And when I say that, it's because we would think probably something different than the way compassionate that you are. for you to be able to hug the person of someone that actually also lost someone, it's almost like you're in the same boat, right? But you're not, because you're never going to see your son or again, right? But that person can still see their son by picking up that phone and going and seeing him and talking to him still. But you being compassionate and forgiving, that's the angels talking to you, that's God talking to you, and saying, let's keep moving forward and celebrating you, all three of you. Celebrate yourselves. And I kind of talked about this before. What I don't want you ladies to feel like every time you see your son or a picture that it's a funeral. Because a funeral, I understand that it's, it's a way of saying, I'll see you again someday, right? These memorable actions that you guys actually have, and I love that you take your son with you camping, right? That's a beautiful thing. And it's cool because you know that your son is actually there with you.
But see his sister Mercedes, she's 4 hours away.
Yeah.
He's my passenger.
See?
Lock him in.
And let's go. And see, this was one thing that
She was his second mom.
That was his second
Oh
mom?
God, you see her camera and you scroll through it.
It's
her
all
and
good.
Jacob, they had selfies. They knew they were the good-looking. So I'm like, God, mercy, all the time. Ready, Jacob? Yes, they would just.
I'm sorry, grab the mic. I'm sorry, I forgot. We're talking like
Yeah.
I'm just in a...
Yeah, they would get together, and then all Mercy would say is, "You ready, Jake?" Yeah. And they'd get there, and I'm like snapping away, posing. I'm like, oh my God, these kids. So I have more pictures of my oldest and my baby. And in between, it's like, what happened? And she's like, he was my photo buddy. So she always said, Jacob, come on, we're the good-looking kids. Let's go take pictures. And he's like, you know this. Go take pictures with her. So yeah, he's his sister, big sister. It's funny, a funny story.
Yeah.
When West Nile came out, they were young, and we lived in Cal City. And I'm telling you, when my baby has a compassionate heart, his oldest sister, being a jerkhead, told him, I'm dying of West Nile. So he was like, oh my God, Mercy, don't die. So everything she wanted, he'd go get it. He was up her butt because he thought his sister was going to die. I'm like, so to this day, she's like, I will never forget that. Like, Jacob followed me around and was so sad I thought I was going to die. Why did you tell my baby you had West Nile? Yeah, so that's how the bond is with them.
Yeah.
Like, him and his other two brothers, because our son Josh passed away.
Yeah.
The one that's before Jacob.
Sure.
Have memories of being at the house having a water fight and breaking our pedestal sink, and they all covered up for each other. And finally, after years, the truth came out of what happened. Their story was they were coming out of the bathtub, slipped and hit the sink. And stories like, how did the weight go into the wall? We don't know. It comes to my son Dala, which he's the oldest boy, went to go pick up a weight heavier than him and just went backwards with the weight. So forget about the weight in the wall. Let's get out of here. So they grab their older brother and they leave. It's just things like that we sit there and we remember. But happy moments, I can't tell you anything that we experienced with Jacob that was bad. All happy moments. Like I said, he was the one that, no drama, no arguing, let's go have fun. So I don't think any of our children can ever say we had a bad moment with Jacob.
I think when you think about across the board, everyone was innocent. There was nobody that was actually bad. And it's just like good guys finish last. And that's what I feel, that sometimes when someone's life is being taken because they're so good at what they love to do, it's the devil's always working. And
what the enemy intended for evil, God turned for his good. We always got to remember that.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Our God is above it. He wasn't surprised at what was going to happen. People tend to say, our children are at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's not true.
Yeah.
God ordained that
God
this was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was our kid's cup.
Yeah.
So if we look at it, the aspect of my heart breaks, I miss my boy. I miss him so much. But what keeps me sane is to know that one day I'm going to go to my son.
That's right.
One day I will see my son.
That's right. That's right.
And it's because of our Father. Our strength is not from within, it's from God.
That's right.
So when people say you're strong, it's not me. Because let me tell you right now, I'm as brittle as a withered leaf.
Yeah.
I'm broken. I'm shattered. But I have my other children. I have my grandchildren. Most of all, we all have God.
Yeah.
My daughter's raising our oldest, 17. Still, he does Bible studies, teaches in church.
Oh, wow.
They have their Bible studies at home. You know,
Good.
she's raising her children to be good kids in sports, and it's just, you know, more people need to be like that with their children. My grandson, like I said, just turned 17 years old, still parental on his phone, gets shut off at a certain time. That's it. Go to bed.
There you go.
Everything they have, she's behind them.
I like
you know?
that. Man,
She's
I like
my
that.
daughter's. Happy Mother's Day, Mercy. I love you.
Oh man, I like that. Man, that's like that's when the street lights come on. You know what I mean? You turn that phone
Oh,
off.
yeah. Mommy don't play. They hear that door open and they're like, shh. You know?
But ladies, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an honor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself as well too here at the New Life Community Church here in Humboldt Park. This was awesome, ladies. Happy Mother's Day. And then yes, if you want to hold your pictures up. Oh, but you also want to talk about. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes. This little girl, 7 years old, she was killed 2 years ago. Her name is Serenity, as she was getting in her mother's car to go home with her mother. So tell me how her mother's going to be tomorrow. Babies are getting shot and killed. Yeah. Please, please be involved in your children's life. Talk to them. You know, we're here for them also, you know. Yeah. There's so many things out here for these kids. You know, we got summer programs going on. Humboldt Park, the Art Fest. They got
the movie night too.
They got movie night. They got everything. You know, look in your district, in your area. If you don't live by the northwest side, there's always something going on. But you have to look for, you know, or reach out to us and we could help you. You could reach out to Rico. Rico could reach out to me, and I will share information with him for your children. Thank you so much, Rico, for having us here.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And thanks to our producer, Matt, for actually taking care of that. All right, ladies, thank you guys so much. All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show with us today. And happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you mothers that's out there. And as you have heard already, you've seen all of the beautiful mothers that's actually here. I'm kind of glad that it was 3, right? Because it was supposed to be 15, but I'm glad that it was actually 3, because I think we've probably been here until 12 midnight. So I think, but it was a great day. Yes. It was a beautiful day. Continue to celebrate yourselves. And everybody, thank you guys so much. If you actually enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you go to all of our social media as well, too, and continue to actually support Elizabeth Ramirez in regards to her support with mothers and families that actually lost their loved ones as well. All right, everybody, I'll see you guys this Wednesday. We will be back. We have my man Ashley Ephraim on the show, the film director from Sparky. So I will see you guys next week. I'll see you guys later. Darling, hey, you guys.